Test, 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 test. Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing. Alright, what's up everybody? This is D Stokes. I am gaming some Final Fantasy VI for any of you that are interested. This is by far my favorite Final Fantasy of the series, and I have played every single one of them, every Final Fantasy from 1 up into 14. So, this is going to be fun. I was originally going to start out with the Final Fantasy X stream, but unfortunately, my software just wasn't really handling Final Fantasy X, so yeah, we're going to go with 6. This brings back a lot of memories. This game, I remember getting this when I was like 8 years old, maybe a little bit younger, and just was obsessed with it. It was the first Final Fantasy that I played, which is maybe why it's my favorite. But just kind of played it religiously for years, and have consistently gone back to it after every Final Fantasy I've beaten. This is the one that I always go back to and say, you know what, this is my favorite. So, always a pleasure to play this game. Cue the wind noise. Oh, and for any viewers, feel free to ask any questions about the game. I'll be glad to engage and answer anything that you might have a question about, either about this game or any game in the series. Probably my favorite of all Final Fantasy theme songs. Alright, so the journey actually begins. We've actually got a little bit of control of the party now. This is the unnamed lady right now. Her name is Terra, as you'll soon find out. And yeah, we got our first fight. Like the new animations they added for the PlayStation release of this game. And of course, a lot of these introductory fights are a little easy, a little overpowered, possibly. Just kind of getting used to the game and how the mechanics work. Cool little animations that they added to it. I like that. Nice little effects that change it from the Super Nintendo version of the game. Or Famicom if you're from Japan. Our second fight, equally easy. Just kind of introductory fights, kind of progressing the story along until you get better control of your characters. Again, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. I'll be glad to answer anything about this game or any of the Final Fantasy games. Or anything Los Mama Huevos related if you guys are fans of our Twitch channel or our Twitter, website, whatever. For those of you just joining us, this is a Final Fantasy VI playthrough. I've just started the game, and I'll be doing a series of this, going through the entire game over the next few weeks or so, however long it takes to beat the game. And right now we're just in the first 15 minutes or so. Levels for everybody. All right. there's an Esper that's found in the mine shaft. Maybe this one. Yeah, I think so too, buddy. Yeah, we'll go ahead. Bust our first save. I hope you're ready for our first boss fight here. As he resorts to brute force to get down this fence of some sort. Quick little nugget of information for you guys. Espers are kind of like magical beings in this game. They're kind of the summons of Final Fantasy VI. I think that's the easiest way I can explain it. They'll, if you stick around for enough of the playthrough, you'll get to see the Esper's backstory and everything else. Interesting boss battle here, as I just explained. After a while, he'll, oh, here he goes, and I messed up badly. So he retracts his head, and if you hit him at this point, it hits his shell. It doesn't really hurt him. Oh, I guess it does, but it doesn't make him happy. He responds with this. It can one-hit you pretty much. So we'll just heal up and wait for a minute. Eventually he'll put his head back out and finish this fight. Very composing of Nobuo Uematsu in this game. One of my favorite video game composer. Of course, being a huge Final Fantasy nerd doesn't help that. If you see the glowing white around the question mark lady, it's because she's currently slowed. And again, we wait for him to put his head back out so we can finish the fight. There we go. That should just about do it right there. Take this. Fantastic way for bosses to die. Flashes like shake into fire until you disappear. Sorry, I had to adjust the headset. And now we get to go meet our first Esper, which is what they've been talking about. So essentially the girl and the two soldiers are sent to this place because they heard there's an Esper trapped in ice. This is the Esper that we've come to this town to find. And as the game will go, I'm not going to spoil too much, but as we go on, the game will explain more. Obviously the Esper's magic is a little bit too powerful for the soldiers here. used to have a weird connection with the girl, which will be explained later in the game. Most of you watching this stream have probably already played this. If you haven't, definitely check it out. One of the best RPGs I've ever played. Yeah, as he's about to explain, the soldiers were controlling the girl with this this crown that was overhead, which they refer to as a slave crown. Essentially, they were harnessing her ability as a magic user and as a powerful warrior woman, kind of like Xena, to do their bidding. Now we get to name our first character. So I refuse to name in all caps. Sorry, it just bothers me. It feels like you're screaming her name. And that's a conversation for another time. Terra is, I guess you could say she's the main character. This game has such a huge cast that I wouldn't really call anybody the main character. She's certainly one of the protagonists, and it's, I would say, the most important character to the overall story, but she's not entirely necessary to do a lot of the major stuff in the game, and I think you can actually beat the game without her, which is kind of interesting for a video game to do that with their main protagonist. Excuse me. This game is also notorious for hiding items and stuff in clocks and pots, etc., etc. Not just treasure chest, as you're probably used to finding in RPGs. One of the classic RPG molds, if you can pretty much go through people's houses and get whatever you want, steal whatever you want out of their houses. Nobody cares. Big deal. Now our first solo fight with Terra. Terra is a decent all-around character. She can become one of the strongest, if not the strongest character in the game. And you'll find out why at a later time. But physical attack's kind of average. She's incredibly talented magically, but yeah. Magic in this game can only be naturally learned by two characters. Terra is one of them. The other, we're yet to find. I'm not going to spoil who. But yeah, only two characters naturally learn as they progress or level up. The rest of them you kind of have to synthetically learn it in a different manner, which we'll also learn at a later time. A good win for Terra. I would say Terra is probably the person most associated with this game. A lot of people, there's a lot of fantastic characters. This is easily my favorite cast in all the Final Fantasy games. A lot of very, very memorable characters, a lot of kind of funny moments. But Terra is probably the most memorable for most people. Not for me, but I would say most people prefer Terra. I feel like one of the strengths of this game is not only the big cast that I alluded to, but really just the I don't know, the way that the character development, I guess, it's phenomenal, especially for an RPG of this time. You know, when it came out, it was Super Nintendo, and RPGs, character development really wasn't that expansive at the time. So for this to come out and be as good of a game as it was, especially with character development, the story, everything, it's just phenomenal. The sound. just a great game all around. And that's why it's kind of timeless. It's easy to play back through. Honestly, I feel like if they made like an HD remake of this to where it was, current gen graphics, it'd probably be one of the more popular games out right now. It's just such a solid game. Like I said, character development, story, it's all really, really impressive. And, not just one character or two characters, it's like the entire 15 character cast gets expansive backstory exploration. So, or there's at least an opportunity for it. Obviously a lot of it's optional. A lot of the characters are optional. I think that's what makes this such a great game. It's kind of explorative, and you can kind of do what you want, which for this day and age was kind of impressive. Tonics are early game healing. They recover about 50 hit points, which is why they're early game. After that, they're kind of useless. 50 hit points is kind of insignificant in the grand scheme of things once you get leveled up a little bit. Terra, she has a hard time of it early in this game. Goes through a lot, and really throughout the game. She's easily one of the more conflicted characters. If not, I'd say probably the most conflicted character. There's a lot of characters that deal with a lot of stuff. Anyways, here's our first look into her backstory. She's having a little flashback here, where this guy right here designs the slave crown, puts it on her, kind of controls her. Kind of shows you the beginning of how she became to be with the soldiers, and how she got to where she is right now. Kefka is easily one of the more humorous characters in the Final Fantasy series. He's my personal favorite villain in the series. Spoiler alert, he's the villain. Just an absolute maniac, just crazy for crazy's sake. He's kind of similar to the Joker for all you Batman fans. If you're not a Batman fan, just enjoy the show then, because he's a crazy dude. This is the Emperor of the major empire in this game, and obviously they're building a major military force where they're harnessing the power of magic. The suits that they use, the suits of armor, are called Magitech armor, and are essentially a means to harness magic into non-magic users. That's how the soldiers were using the Magitech armor. That's essentially what they're there for, which has made their empire a really powerful force. And here comes my favorite character in any video game of all time. Maybe a stretch, but he's easily one of the best characters in Final Fantasy. Things about Locke, he takes extreme offense to being called a thief. He prefers the term treasure hunter, and you'll see why as the game goes on. The Returners are a group that Locke works with, and as does this guy. They're trying to get to Terra and to kind of help her out, kind of see what they can do for her, see if they can bring her onto their side, kind of change the tide of the war against the Empire. It's not necessarily a war, but you know, I think they kind of realize that the Empire's getting a little bit too powerful. They want to kind of limit that. Classic intro. You know, for the sprite design, they did a lot of like facial expressions and stuff for this game. Considering the basic sprite design that's in it, you know. And enter a Final Fantasy staple, the Moogles. Any of you Final Fantasy fans should know what Moogles are. If you don't, kind of a strange creature that's in the Final Fantasy universe that assists you from time to time. In this Final Fantasy, they'll occasionally fight with you. In other Final Fantasies, they serve different purposes. And for this, we kind of have like a little mini battle here against the forces from the mining town of Narshe. Actually, some reasonably difficult fights for this point in the game. You can die pretty easily if you're not careful. The objective of this fight is just to protect Terra, make sure that none of these things get to her, which is reasonably simple. Here we have Mog, obviously a little bit differently named than the others. There's a reason for that. Mog will, spoiler alert, eventually become part of the party. But that's much later in the game. Right now he's just assisting where he can. And as you saw, that said mastered a new dance. Mog's special is if you fight in a location, there's certain locations in the game that you fight with Mog that you can learn dances, which are a special attack. You lose control of him for the fight, but he gains some pretty powerful attacks. I'll show you. Dusk Requiem. And he slows the guy and kills him. Just like that. See, potentially very powerful. In case I haven't explained it yet, GP is the currency of the game. Gil or gold or anything like that. And we'll see what the dance has for us this turn. Poison Frog. Again, potentially very powerful. One of the really cool things about dance later in the game, once you get him in your party actually, is that, like, let's say you're out in the field and you can dance the Dusk Requiem, and occasionally you can change it. It'll change like the backdrop to the cave scene. So Mog can use his attacks. Pretty cool. Doesn't always work. in case you're wondering, I'm taking all the beating with this right now because I want to save Locke's party for a big fight that's coming up. Somebody's gonna die. Checked yet. And our second kind of boss fight, I guess. I guess you can call this a boss fight, but not necessarily classified as that. Despite hate the term of thief, that's essentially what Locke is for your party. He's very good at what he does. He stole the Mithril knife, which is the main thing. Oh, that's the only thing he's got. One of his strong suit is he's faster than every character in the game, and it's at a later stage in the game, if you level him correctly, you can be significantly faster. Which is kind of how I like to build my parties. I prefer agility and speed over brute strength. Obviously, if you have both, it's pretty effective. But yeah, Locke is a very useful character, particularly later in the game. Slides her body out. There you go, babe. I'm just gonna lay you down here while I pull this skull handle. And she wakes up from her amnesia just in time. As you can see, Locke is a pretty gallant dude. He's pretty useful, pretty resourceful, and he's always trying to help the ladies out. Not necessarily the ladies, he's just a good guy. He tries to help everybody out. And the rock magically appears back. Gotta love Super Nintendo. Alright, let's equip that mithril knife that we just stole from the guy. As you can see, it raises the battle power 4 points. Which is pretty useful. Not a huge leap or anything, but it's enough to make a little bit of a difference. And we can head back in here. Get a little bit of training if necessary. You can also heal up here. Again, Super Nintendo games, kind of interesting with how they did things. As you can see, we'll go over here. Items in a pot. Over here. One of the interesting things with Final Fantasy VI. Monsters in a box. Some of your harder enemies in the game can be found in these. Some pretty interesting, like, little sub-bosses. Yeah, raises attack a little bit. Not too much. Again, they're both pretty weak at this point in the game. And we'll see if there's anything in the other rooms. Again, if anybody has any questions or anything regarding this game or any other Final Fantasy game, feel free to ask. I'll be glad to help out. Glad to provide any advice or answer any questions you might have. I think there's actually an item in this, yeah. Tonic, little early game healing device. Kind of useless at the higher levels as it only restores like 50 hit points. First fight in the overworld. One of the kind of an interesting sprite design, I guess, for that monster. At this point, our party is heading towards Castle of Figaro, which is where we're supposed to be going. You'll find out why once we get there, but don't want to spoil too much for you guys. I'm trying not to, it's hard. I'm trying to keep you informed, but not tell you everything. Mix it up, use a little magic since we're facing more than one enemy. And as you see, Terra can be pretty useful in the early game. Desert. This is another fight for Terra. Northern Block. She can hit all three characters at once. All three enemies, I mean. Oh. As you can see, most of these fights early game pretty easy. Doesn't really kick up a notch until much later in the game. Oh, I take that back. There's some hard fights here and there. Most of the boss fights. Now arrived at the Castle of Figaro. Things I'm wanting to do right now that are just much later in the game. Go straight to the king. Here he is, the King of Figaro. Kind of a ladies' man. Tries to hit on pretty much every check in the game, so either like him or you hate him. There's no real middle ground with Edgar. Edgar has an interesting special where he uses tools. It can go anything from like a crossbow to like a chainsaw. He's got a lot of different stuff that he uses. And early game, they're really effective. You can take care of a lot of enemies with some of his tools early in the game. Later in the game, it gets a little bit more complicated. And enemies are a little bit, I would say, better equipped to defend against what he has to offer. But he's still a useful character throughout, as are just about every character in this game. I mean, it's part of the reason this is my favorite Final Fantasy is just everybody is useful throughout, and as such, good game. So we got a couple of viewers on right now. If you guys have any questions, just let me know about this game, any other game within the Final Fantasy series. I'd be glad to answer. Yeah, Edgar constantly trying to hit on all the ladies. Right, you know, since it wouldn't be a desert castle without a bunch of treasure chests just lying around for you to open up. Yeah, whatever, this guy's a shop owner, he doesn't care. Just take his items, no big deal. Let's see, I think we're pretty well started for the moment. Might be able to buy some useful stuff over here, though. Oh yeah, more treasure chest in a store that the owner just gladly lets you take off his hands. Yeah, nothing useful right now. All those are the starting 3 tools that Edgar has, and so there's really no point in spending money on them. You're already going to get them in a couple of minutes when you join your party full time. I believe we go this way. It's like the end. We don't really need to go to the end right now. This guy right now, Chocobo. For any of you who aren't familiar with the Final Fantasy series, Chocobo's pretty relevant part of the game in every game. Some games more than others, though. And as you're finding out right now, Edgar had a brother, the ponytailed bodybuilder over there. And as you find out, the two are twins. Edgar overtook the throne and kind of ruled the kingdom, while Sabin chose a different route. Again, not going to spoil too much. And I hate the all caps name, so I'm changing them. Sabin is another of the fan favorites in this particular game. You'll find out the reason behind that. He's a pretty powerful dude, especially physical attacks. Sabin is kind of unrivaled in this game. Kind of unrivaled in most Final Fantasies, if you really think about it. And we get our first real glimpse of Kefka. You saw him in the flashback with Terra, but this is your first real experience. Kefka is like the general of was one of the generals of the Empire, and the Emperor sent him out to the desert to talk to Edgar about some stuff. This is the reason I gotta love Kefka. He's out in the desert, getting soldiers to shine his boots because there's sand on them. And he's got that great laugh too. Kefka kind of does what he wants to do. He's a funny dude. As you can see, Kefka's looking for Terra, and Edgar's kind of playing hardball with him. Again, always the ladies' man with his funny quips. Says follow him, but I think I know where I'm going a little bit better than Mark does. Just roll a little bit too slowly to pass him. Again, the second time he's been called a thief now. Never responds favorably to it. Tara's a little conflicted. She doesn't know what to believe right now. They're trying to help her. She doesn't understand because she was fighting for the Empire and killing a lot of people, and that's who they're fighting against. But they're trying to make her understand that they don't blame her. You know, she was being controlled by the slave crown and everything. Doesn't remember much of who she is or where she comes from. So Edgar's woken up in the middle of the night. As you can see, his castle's on fire. Gotta love crazy Kefka. Classic Super Nintendo animations. So we've got a couple of viewers, guys. Welcome to the channel. If you have any questions about this game or any other Final Fantasy game, hit me up. Let me know. I'll be glad to chat with you guys about anything and everything Final Fantasy or Los Momohuevos related. This is our first playthrough of Final Fantasy VI, so you know, here we go. Cool thing about Figaro that a lot of people don't know, the castle can go underground, or you do know if you played the game, but if you're just watching, it's a castle that can submerge. And it kind of serves as a means of travel for the party in a couple of different instances. Although it is kind of strange that Kefka doesn't get sucked underground with the castle, but whatever. We'll avoid the physics questions of the game. Our third boss fight of the day. Oh, yeah. Alright, we get to see Edgar's tools that were mentioned earlier. Auto crossbow. See, I mean, it's a multiple target attack that's pretty useful early in the game, especially when everybody else is hitting for 40 or 50 a hit. You know, everybody else's physical attacks are pretty useful and then useless. And so are Edgar's, which is why I use auto crossbow early on here. Forgot about that. Yes, this is the first time they've ever seen magic. Strange, because Locke's been walking around with us for, you know, a good while now, and has seen her use magic several times, but never made a big deal until this. So one of the questions that's going on right now is, you know, how can Terra use magic? A lot of the people don't understand it, including Terra. She doesn't necessarily get where she's what her heritage is or where she's from or anything like that, so she doesn't understand, you know, why she has these abilities that nobody else has. Yeah, pretty easy boss fight, to be honest. A lot of them are early in the game. Son of a submariner, he says. See, Terra is just completely clueless right now. She's had this slave crown on her for years and doesn't really know what's going on. And as they're explaining to her right now, she's they're both part of the Returners, which is kind of like a resistance, of course, you know. I haven't the foggiest. As I just explained, Edgar said that no human is born with the powers that she has, and so it's kind of making everybody wonder what's going on. They're offering a means to help her understand her powers, and, you know, in the process, you know, she helps them, they help her. It's kind of like a mutual agreement to help her learn more about themselves, and in return, she's supposed to help the Returners. Let's ride her first chocobo. The thing about chocobos is you don't have any random encounters while you're on them. Equip Locke with the stronger of the two, since he'll actually be doing physical attacks. Edgar again won't be doing them because he's got the tools. He also is a tool. I guess we'll go ahead and save too. Again, we're heading to the Returner base right now. Which is through this cave and on the other side of South Figueroa. is one of the major nations in the game, if you haven't figured that out yet. It's been a while since I played this part, so we're gonna explore a little bit. Hope you guys in the process, we'll be doing a little bit of power leveling. Really not much point in having anybody else attack, so I'm just gonna have Locke stealing a bunch now to boost our item inventory. And gonna have Edgar using the auto crossbow since he can wipe out everybody with it. If you just saw that, Terra learned Antidote, which is kind of like the an abbreviated antidote. That's her magic spell. It'll cure any kind of poison that's going on. Not to be confused with the Suna, which cures all status elements. Yeah, as you can see, auto crossbow, a little bit more powerful than anything else we've got going on right now. I just unplugged my controller, excuse me a second. There we go. Again, Terra is only one of 2 characters that naturally learns magic. The rest of them have to kind of learn it through a different means that we'll discover later in the game. And really in a lot of these earlier fights, Edgar's tools, especially auto crossbow, can kind of carry you through a lot of the fights. Because it wouldn't be a cave without a bunch of treasure laying around unnecessarily. That's what I like to do when I walk through caves, just leave little treasure boxes everywhere. Keep our stealing going. And we'll save her magic points for healing the party. Another treasure chest in the corner. I'm never just laying out in the middle. It's always like in the furthest corner from where you are. I don't believe there's any kind of balance or any kind of change in the amount of experience distributed to the characters based on who gets the final kill or the final hit on a kill. Some of the Final Fantasies are like that. If you get the last hit, you get more experience, but not this one. Boosting our tonic supply. Some Zen and tonic going on later. Another reminder for any viewers, if you're interested in FIFA, Les Monuevos play FIFA 15 just about every night, if not every night, every other night. But tonight we are hosting a tournament with box2boxsoccer.com. That's kind of like a World Cup setup. It's all international teams. We got 16 teams entered, and we have 2 games that'll be broadcast tonight. The first is at 6 Central, the second is at 7 Central. 6 Central is Ireland versus Belgium, and 7 Central, I believe, is Turkey and England. We're going to go with England. You can see we're outside of a little city-looking area. This is South Figueroa. Pretty cool place. A lot of early game stuff goes down in South Figueroa. And here's one of the best characters in the game. If my man Kyle is watching, Kyle, or Zep1300 to the Los Monuevos fans, this is easily his favorite character. It's a pretty funny part later in the game I'll have to tell you guys about when we get there. But Shadow is a pretty badass character. He's a ninja, he can throw items, he's very useful. Easily one of the more popular characters of this game. Very similar to Edge, if any of you have played Final Fantasy IV. And again, I changed the names because I don't like the all caps. It slit his mama's throat for a nickel, Edgar says. As you can see, trying to talk to Shadow doesn't really work. Trying to talk to his dog results in Shadow telling you that the dog eats strangers. So as we do when we get to most towns, we're going to explore a little bit and see what we can find. Free items and stuff laying around. It's usually pretty commonplace. Interesting little side story goes on in this room at a later time. Involving what the guy just did there, where he took the cider off the desk. Bear with me, I just go through and check all the rooms because it's been a while. in everybody else's bedroom, no big deal. Nothing in that little water bucket. Quaint little town theme song going on. Oh, relics. I forgot this is the first time we can buy relics in this game. And the mod will come out and try to explain relics. They're essentially just kind of, sometimes they let you do attribute boost, sometimes they're really just more for specific purposes. Sprint shoes really don't do anything, they just make it to where you can walk around quicker inside cities or dungeons. I don't know if they fixed this. On the original version of the game, there's no point in goggles because dark didn't affect you, it didn't negatively affect your attack accuracy. Star Pendant does, however, come in useful, such as the Jewel Ring and True Knight. And as you probably saw there, each one has a description that kind of tells you what they do. And you're about to see at least what Sprint shoes do. We'll put those on lock. Seems appropriate. Go with True Knight, Star Pendant. True Knight protects other party members that are low on hit points. I'll give her the other one. As you can see, we're walking out a lot faster now. Thank goodness, it's gonna make this playthrough a little bit quicker. Alright, I think there's an item. One of these, yep. There we go. Again, a lot of this is just me trying to remember the little nuances of the game. So yeah, this is South Figueroa, one of the major cities of the game. A lot of interesting gameplay stuff happens here, so... let's see, what can we explore? Thinking we got a little secret passage here. Yeah. Elixir, that's useful. Excuse me. Yep, there's a secret passage. Of course it goes into somebody else's house, you know. Always explore everybody else's house in Final Fantasies. We're just gonna explore all the houses in the town, make sure that we got all the items we can get. Gonna have to check everywhere in this game. I guess we'll go back to this house. I believe there's a there's a secret passage up here. This one first. I don't think this is the room with it. No, it's not. By the way, children. See, yeah, a lot of this stuff is kind of foreshadowing, I guess, a little bit, but there's a lot of secret passages and things going on. Let's see. Shit, there we go. Yeah, I probably shouldn't know about this until later. Running shoes. particularly for Locke, since he's already your fastest character. You equip him with these. And actually, I'm going to give my purse as well. I'll give her the sprint shoes. Yeah, that's extremely useful. Let's see, I thought there was... Is it here? There's another secret passageway somewhere in here. Well, again, a lot of this is not supposed to be accessible at this point in the game. It's supposed to be a passageway with a ribbon in it, and ribbons are extremely useful in any Final Fantasy. But I don't think we're going to be able to get there just yet. I think that's going to have to wait until later. I think this is the... Again, I thought it was somewhere in here. My bad. Probably just not accessible at this point in the game. I think it's in somewhere around here, just not in this particular area. Which is cool. We can find it at a later time. Sometimes it's easy to get turned around. Get those two since we didn't get them earlier. Let's see what the Regal Cutlass does. And in this game, it doesn't really make much sense to sell any of the swords or anything, because you can throw them in the shadow later in the game. So we got here, should be some armor. Stocked up there, probably a little bit more than we needed to, but it's okay. Magic defense is another statistic in this game. I'm not entirely sure that they fixed. I know on the on the Super Nintendo game, Magic Defense, something about it, I think it wasn't really all that useful of a statistic, if at all. I don't know if it even served a purpose in the game. But yeah. Get out of the way, kid. almost trapped. Oh, it's a secret passageway right here. Yep. We're gonna visit the inn, since I believe a couple of us are kind of low on hit points. Somebody very near to me is cooking chicken. I can smell it. It smells delicious. So now we're heading to, we'll head to this place first. We're still en route to the returner's base. Here we have kind of an abandoned hut out in the middle of nowhere. No homo. Yeah, so basically Edgar's finding a bunch of stuff of his brother. His brother has been kind of missing for a while, as he left as he was younger, a few years ago, I would say. And yeah, kind of a little foreshadowing there that we might run into Sabin. Probably should have saved it before walking in here, but it's okay. I'm so glad we got the sprint shoes though, they make a lot of this so much easier than they're just quicker. Bioblaster. Should be getting some levels pretty soon. See the shadow thing. What's that? It's just too effective at this point in the game. There's the level, Edgar. It helps to know all the little hidden passageways in these games. shit. Didn't realize I was gonna heal. Locke is glowing red right now because he's kind of auto hasted due to the relic I've equipped to him. Just a little programming notes. We're going to be getting off, or Los Monway was to be signing off of Final Fantasy around 5 o'clock Central, so another hour or so. And that's because we're playing in the World Cup, the FIFA World Cup tournament held by BoxToBoxSoccer.com. It'll be me. I'll be playing as Ireland against Belgium at 5 o'clock. We'll also have Turkey against England, I believe. That's the second game. A lot of random fights in this game. Rock is gonna let me down with the stealing right now. Go ahead and heal up since everybody's kind of getting a little low. Two levels, not bad. And we'll use a couple of those tonics I've been stealing. Boy. Do not remember there being this many random fights in this game. I guess there are. In case you haven't noticed, we've been chasing the shadowed figure on this mountain for a little while. A little bit of foreshadowing with the cabin we went to before this, you know, where it might be saving. And it is kind of shaped like him, as you can see. Jesus Christ, the random battles. I forgot about this. This is almost as bad as Final Fantasy IX. Fantasy IX, in case you haven't played it, notorious for its occurrence of random battles. That took 5 steps there. That's impressive. That'll come in useful. And there we go. Good news is we're building up a cash flow pretty well right now. A little bit of advice for anybody who's new to the Final Fantasy series. You see a save point, take it, save your game, because there's a boss fight coming up pretty soon that you're probably going to need that save point for. This game is no exception. Touch. If we could do a good Bane impression, I would do it. Merely adopted the fire of the darkness. I don't know. I've only seen the movie once, so I haven't. Don't really have a whole lot of Bane lines I remember. There's like a spoof where one of our fellow Los Malhuevos guys told us about, where Bane's like, strawberries are packed with fiber. That's the best Bane I can do. Alright. Making our way further and further into the mountain here. Oh dear God. Huh, that wasn't so bad. Good for Edgar. Everybody's kind of power leveling right now. I'd rather not do that. Simply because it makes learning magic and leveling attributes a little bit more difficult later in the game. force the one guy actually have the poison protection on, which is Edgar. Hasn't been poisoned yet. As you see, it's not Savin that we've been chasing. It's this guy. Who's our next boss fight? I thought I put that on all of us. Well, the Bio Blaster. See how he likes it. Come on, Locke. Trying to steal. I don't remember if he has anything of use. We're gonna find out. Just beat the shit out of him. So as you find out, Vargas killed his own father. Supposedly. And welcome to the party, Savin. Savin is a little bit vain when it comes to his muscles, his physique, and his fighting ability. Now we get to start our life with Sabin. Excuse me. Can't remember what all. Oh, he's got our bolt. That's good. Yeah, Sabin is easily the most effective character in the party right now. Although Edgar can kill most things with auto crossbow in a bigger group, Sabin is easily the most powerful if you know how to do his blitzes right. Especially for this stage of the game, he's very much overpowered. One step from the exit, we get in a fight. Let's see what you got, Sabin. Oh, didn't do it right. It's embarrassing. Trying to. Sabin's blitzes are done by inputting commands, essentially like a combo. Suplex. I didn't realize we had suplex. Triangle, square, down, up. Alright, let's do it. Let's give suplex a try. And we're now very close to the turner's hideout. Alright. That was wrong. Damn it. Let's do it the old-fashioned way. What do you say? There we go. I think I probably got the order mixed up. Have to look at the blitz again. Triangle, square, down, up. Had it right. There's probably a time limit in how long it can take to enter it. There we go. A lot weaker than I thought it would be. And this is the returner's place. We're gonna get to meet a lot of kind of minor characters here, minor NPCs. Just get out of the way, please. There we go. Probably asking why I just bought 2 more sprint shoes, and I promise it'll be explained at a later time. The party might split up at some point, and in case it does, I need the ability to run around quicker. Forgot I gotta go speak with Bannon first. Really let me explore most of the base. Pandora's box. And so begins the process of everybody trying to convince Tara of why she should join the Returners. Which there's, you know, lots of pros and cons for, mostly pros. Trying to figure out who she is, learn a little bit more about herself and her identity. Get out of the way, please. There, Lancet. That could come in useful. Sabin is he's a classic good guy. So everybody's gonna set their piece at this point. It's gonna make you go talk to Bannon. Some kind of trick to this. Let me go ahead and save just in case. I've forgotten how this works. There's a pretty powerful relic that you can get out of this if you do it correctly. I want to say I just had to deny him another time. And I'll be able to get it. It's a Genji glove, and it allows you to equip weapons in both hands, which allows for 2 attacks every turn rather than 1. Which is pretty effective throughout the game. You can combine it with another relic later in the game to where you can do 8 attacks in 1 turn. And it's incredibly useful. Some of the comedy there. So essentially everybody's trying to escape right now and get out of here. Oh, there it is. Got the relic. Now we're gonna hold on to it. Not quite equip it just yet. So at this point, Locke is headed towards South Figaro. He's trying to stop the Empire. The Empire just invaded the town, and they've kind of holding siege right now. We're heading towards Narsh, which is the gold mining town we started the game out at, and yeah, we're gonna go find Esper. Bannon is briefly joining our party. He's extremely useful as a healer. Not really much else. He's kind of weak in every other aspect, but he's got a skill called Health, which is fairly useful. Change the order of the party here a little bit. Bannon in the back row, so he's not taking as much damage. Yeah, Saban's physical attack is doing about twice as much as everybody else's at this point in the game. Final Fantasy's way of saying boss fight. On the way. Get ready for it. Saban's R bolt at this point in the game is probably the most powerful attack that we have. Against some things it can do up to 600 damage and really kind of overpowered at this point. Since we're so early. Bannon just gaining levels like crazy right now. Reminder again for anybody watching, a little programming update for you. We are going to be ending this stream here in a few minutes. Uh-oh, hold on. One of the funnier parts of Final Fantasy VI is this guy, Ultros. Teach the Octopus kids. And again, at this point, oh, never mind. I stand corrected. I was going to say that,